Hello everyone, I'm going to be talking about new Samsung Galaxy S26, S26 Plus and also the Ultra version. I'm not going to talk about the label situation again because again, as I already said in the previous video, it already got kind of boring. So that's why I'm going to be talking about the Galaxy S series, which are obviously new. So to begin with, I'm not necessarily a huge tech guy. Obviously, I do care about the new tech that comes out because I have a job basically which kind of revolves around new tech, so I kind of also have to. But the other reason why I'm talking about the Samsung Galaxy is I'm also an user of Samsung, and I have never used Apple in my life. I think one time I used Apple was probably like 10 or like 15 years ago when my father had the iPhone 4 or was it iPhone 5, I'm not pretty sure, but that was pretty much the first time I used the iPhone, and it was only like 2 or 3 days, and then I had to give him the phone back. I also used it during school, so I could not really experience the iPhone era, and I also remember back in the days people were saying that iPhone 4 or iPhone 5, again I'm not necessarily sure about the specific which it was, like 5 or 4, but again, as I said, I remember that people were saying iPhone 4 was one of the best iPhones during the time because it was done before the owner of Apple or founder of Apple passed away, and every other iPhone after that was kind of trash, and that was actually kind of funny. I also believe that. Maybe it was true actually, who knows. If you guys have any idea about such gossips, I guess, then you can obviously comment it down below and tell me your story about that. But again, today I'm going to be talking about the Galaxy series because, as I said, I also have the Galaxy and I'm kind of passionate about the Samsung product. So how was the presentation, to kind of sum it up? Well, from the beginning, I was expecting like a lot of changes. Usually I do not upgrade my phone unless something happens to it, so unless I broke it, unless I have done something crazy with it. For example, I used to have S22, and S22's battery kind of how do I say, it almost blew up. It got really big, so I had to change my phone, and now I have Galaxy S25. Obviously I have no complaints about S25. It's a great phone, takes great pictures. Of course it is bad for social media if you are a content creator because the apps are not optimized for Samsung products and Android in general. However, if you just want to take pictures and upload them on Instagram, it's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent. The only complaint I have with this phone is that it has a low battery, so it kind of barely lasts for a day, even if I don't really use it all that much. Overall, the phone is great. So now let's talk about the S26. Again, as I said, I was kind of expecting them to do a lot of new changes. For example, I was expecting them to change the battery. I was expecting them to change how fast the phone would charge, maybe the structure of the phone as well. I was also expecting like new cameras, new storage, which I guess they kind of gave us. I was also expecting more RAM, but they pretty much gave us nothing. So the cameras are pretty much the same on all of the phones, like S26, S26 Plus and S26 Ultra. They are all the same. The only difference is that S26 Ultra has bigger sensors, so more light goes into them. But as I said, I will talk about the S26 Ultra really soon. I just want to talk about the S26 first. So mainly differences are the AI features, which I'm also pretty sure that we are going to see them added on S25 anyways. So what was the point of doing all these AI features? Also, again, as I said, there is pretty much no difference in terms of photo camera, and many people have also been saying that all the other brands, for example Xiaomi, for example Nothing, and all the other, like I think Realme as well, even has better pictures than Samsung, because Samsung does no innovations at all. It's always AI, it's always Gemini, it's always Bixby or Bixby. Why do they do this every single time? The only difference I saw was the battery life. They added 300 milliampere instead of 4000. instead of 4000 now it has 4300, which I guess is kind of an improvement. But when I was looking at those new S series, I was thinking like maybe I'm actually going to do like a trade-in, and maybe I'm actually going to buy the S26. But then I saw no changes, so I was like, why would I even buy this? And also the other difference besides AI stuff and besides the battery is that now S26 has a better screen. So now the Samsung is using their own screen, which Samsung was giving to other companies such as Apple, for example. Apple was using Samsung screens for 2 years, or actually many years in fact, but the Samsung itself was not using that screen, which is, again, it is really weird. And the screen I'm talking about is, if I remember correctly, it is called the 10-bit screen, or like M3 screen or something similar to that, which means that instead of 3 million colors on the screen, it is going to have almost like a billion colors. I'm not sure where the billion colors are coming from, but it's going to have that. So that's, again, another plus. And if we talk about, for example, wireless charging, I'm pretty sure it charges with 15 watts, which is crazy low. If you look at other Xiaomi products, which are also flagship products, such as Xiaomi 17 Ultra, for example, they charge with 50 watts wirelessly, and they charge with 90 watts with wire. So again, it is really crazy that Samsung is doing absolutely nothing to improve their products. It's always just this dumb AI. Nobody cares about AI, bro. I have never in my life used AI for anything other than just information, and by that I mean I have gone to ChatGPT or I have gone to Gemini and asked them about where can I buy this product. Other than that, I have never used AI in my life. Sure, when you are looking at the presentation and when they are talking about something, for example, now brief, where you have kind of like these reminders in your phone, where where the phone kind of reminds you what to do and how to do them. Sure, again, that kind of sounds nice. Also, if you another AI, which was that you can now take a screenshot, for example, or get a picture of something, and then you can mark them all together. I think it's called Circle AI or something, and by that, if there is a person in the picture and you circle the person, the AI is going to show you where the person got the boots, for example, where he got the pants, where he got the coat, and so on and so forth. Sure, on the paper, all that sounds really nice, but again, when are you going to use it? Pretty much never, or maybe once in your life. So it's all really pointless. Or another AI was, I think it was agentic AI, if I'm not mistaken, which would kind of look at your calendar or kind of look at your notes, and if you were talking to your friend about a flight and you also had a marked flight in your calendar, the AI would go there to your calendar, it would get the date, and it would pretty much remind you that yes, you have a flight during this time and during that time. Again, when are you really going to use that? And most of the time, these AI features are for American-speaking countries. So, for example, US, for example, UK, Australia, and so on and so forth. People that are not native Americans or people that do not speak English are not going to be able to use this anyway. So, for example, here in Georgia, sure, many people speak English, but during an everyday conversation, nobody uses English as their main language. So this feature is useless in my country. This feature is useless in many other countries. So this is what I'm saying, that these AI features are absolutely useless, and I still do not understand why they keep putting those features in those phones. But well, who knows? And if we talk about the S26 Plus now, the main difference is, well, if you are comparing S25 Plus and S26 Plus, there is pretty much no difference except the chipset. And also, one more thing about the chipset, about the S26. So, as you know, they are using Snapdragon Elite Gen 5, which obviously is one of the strongest chips. But the thing is, they are no longer using, or actually, in some models, and even also most models, they are using Exynos 2400, which is cool because it is first 2 nanometers, but why? Like, why are you using Exynos chipset, bro? Again, for example, here in Georgia, if I want to buy an S26 and if I want to get it with Snapdragon chipset, I literally cannot do that because all of them are with Exynos. And as sure, bro, again, it is 2 nanometers, but why would I buy Exynos when Snapdragon is much better? And why would I also choose Exynos when the price is pretty much the same on both chipsets, Snapdragon and also the Exynos? Like, sure, they are both fast, but in terms of workload, Snapdragon is much better. And again, that's another minus. Like, it's crazy because all these companies are kind of downgrading. I had high hopes about Samsung because Apple actually made a lot of changes. They upgraded their cameras, they upgraded their charging speed as well. They added a lot of batteries, they did a lot of software changes, so on and so forth. But on the other hand, Samsung basically did nothing. And me, as kind of a fan of Samsung, I was really disappointed. So now let's move on to the Ultras, because again, Ultras are kind of the thing many people are interested. And another thing as well, S26 and S26 Plus did not get any kind of attention. I do not understand why. I mean, obviously I do understand because there were no changes about all these phones. So main focus was the S26 Ultra. It almost felt like the S26 and S26 Plus were kind of neglected during the presentation because literally nobody talked about them. Nobody even cared about those two. And now to kind of compare what the differences are with the S26 Ultra and the 25 Ultra. Well, first of all, the main difference is that it's like 0.02 grams lighter, I'm pretty sure, and that's because it's not using the titanium anymore, it's using aluminum, which again, people are saying that it is cool for cooling. It also has the vapor chamber, which means that it is going to be much cooler than S25 Ultra, and it is not going to how do I say, overheat as quick. But again, S25 Ultra had no such issues. At least as I said, I work in such a job where I kind of have to talk to people who are buying those phones, and nobody has ever mentioned that S25 Ultra is overheating because it has titanium. And now, since S26 Ultra is also aluminium, it's going to be much how do I say, softer. If you drop it, then it's probably going to fold, as many of iPhone 17s are folding because they are also aluminium. One thing that I kind of liked is that it is called armored aluminium, which means that it's going to be much stronger than just aluminium. At least I hope so. But other differences are, again, which I mentioned, is the camera. It now has bigger sensors, so more light goes into them, and it takes better pictures during the night. But it will take worse pictures during the night because a lot of light goes into them. It also has this feature which is called the privacy screen, which I have tested already, of course, and it is pretty bad. From what I have seen online, it actually does a pretty good job, but what I see in real life, it does not blur anything. I have tried it with both, one with kind of light privacy and the other one which was more private than usual, and it did not blur anything, at least for me. If the phone was not all the way on the other side, then it did not blur anything. Well, it kind of did, but I still could see the screen. So at that point, if you are like legit turning the phone to the other side, then even if it was a normal screen, I still would not be able to see it. So what is the point of privacy? And what it does is that it kind of dims the whole screen, and it also makes the screen somewhat pixelated. So it's a cool option that you can actually turn on the privacy and turn it back off if you want to. But from my experience, as I have already checked, it makes the screen pixelated. It also doesn't really blur anything. I would probably use it for the notifications, but again, why would I do that? Because nobody really texts me anyway, so it's kind of pointless to use that for notifications as well. And also, I'm wondering if you use it only for notifications, which I have not tested because it was a demo version. If I'm using for the notifications, then somebody texts me, is the whole screen going to get all pixelated as well, or is it going to be only that specific area of the notification? I hope so, at least, and I hope it doesn't blur the whole entire phone, because again, it's going to be really bad. And the other main feature that people have been talking about is the stabilization. So it has this kind of stabilization with which you can pretty much record the way you want. You can run around, you can throw a phone somewhere, you can even put the phone in the washing machine and make it spin. And the stabilization is so good that it's going to still stay in the same field, so to say. So for example, if I'm recording a video in the straight line, it is going to stay there even if I turn the phone upside down. So that's cool. But other than that, there are pretty much no differences. The battery is the same, it has not changed. The charging speed of whether it would be, actually they did change the charging speed. It now charges with 60 watts, but you know what's the difference in terms of time? Only 10 minutes. So only 10-minute difference. Crazy. Oh man, it kind of really sucks, bro. Like, I had really high hopes. I was hoping like maybe if they make a great product, then I will change from S25 to S26, or maybe even S26 Ultra. But the price is really high. And what it gives you is pretty much nothing. So again, as I said, these are pretty much the only differences and only features that they have added to those phones, which means there is no features, pretty much. It's only AI, and AI. And I'm hoping now S27 Ultra or S27 is going to be a better phone, and then I'm probably going to buy that. And I think at that point, this S25 as well is going to, I guess, lose all its potential, or maybe not, because nowadays newer phones are kind of have this how do I say, like a contract, I guess, and after like 1 or 2 years they kind of lose all their potential and they do not really work as well as they should. But the older phones really work more years than those new phones. But yeah, then this was pretty much it. The one thing I want to also mention is that S26 is more expensive than iPhone 17, and if you are kind of new in phones, and if you do not really know what to buy, but you kind of want to experience both at the same time, I would probably say that go with the iPhone 17 because it is $100 cheaper, and the iPhone 17 kind of gives you better quality in terms of social media. It has better front camera, it has better back camera. I think it only doesn't have the telephoto camera because Samsung has 3 cameras on the back, and the iPhone 17 has only 2, but other than that, as well, the MagSafe, they did not add MagSafe on those phones, bro. Oh my god, even Pixel has MagSafe. Like, what are you guys doing, bro? Even Pixel and iPhone has had MagSafe for how many years now? I think even iPhone 12 has MagSafe, and Samsung still doesn't have that. Oh my days. Yeah, just go with the iPhone 17, bro. It's much better than these Samsung phones, and you are also saving $100. So with that $100 you could buy the charger as well. But yeah, that was it. Now I'm going to go. Tell me what do you think about these features or these new Samsung phones in the comments, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out.